I wanted to relate probably the greatest dream I've ever had. This dream happened or occurred in around 2011, maybe 2010. I was drinking a lot at the time, what you would call binge drinking, and this this dream spontaneously occurred. I was, in a regular dream, and I was watching some baby chicks, like little chickens, and they were just walking around, doing their thing, and I suddenly snapped into consciousness, into lucidity, and I realized I was in a dream. And as soon as I realized that, the baby chicks shifted, and I found myself in a dark, moonlit glade in the forest. Very dark, but not scary, just dark, mysterious. And I was probably on the outskirts of the glade, looking in. And in the middle of the glade were two women. They were nude, and they were sitting cross-legged, holding each other's hands and staring into each other's eyes. And they were beautiful, very beautiful. And I noticed that their eyes would shift color. They cycled through all the colors of the rainbow, one after another, in an impressive and magical display that's very hard to describe. I know I'm not going to give the dream the the respect, the telling it deserves, but I was just watching them, and I was caught up in the moment. I was entranced, and suddenly these words came out of me in a whisper, and I said, "I love you." But as soon as I said it, this terrible terror came over me, because I felt like I had just spoken to a being way, way more powerful and intense than anything I'd ever come across. And this terror came over me. I couldn't explain it, but I was afraid that they would just destroy me for being just disrespectful or something. But they looked at me, and they saw into me, they saw through me, and then they spoke. I don't know if it was one of them or both of them, but they spoke, and the voice was like nothing I've ever experienced. It was like the vibration of their voice was shaking every single cell, every single atom of my body, of my being. Every electron was just being vibrated so intensely by their voice. And so I couldn't understand what they were saying. It was so powerful. But the voice woke me up. And I, sat up in bed, like, what was that? I was flabbergasted, One doesn't really fall asleep and expect that kind of just life-shattering experience of encountering such a being. And I think the message they were telling me was that I should love myself more, because I just wasn't respecting myself enough at the time, drinking too much, etc., poisoning myself basically. But ever since then, I've been kind of worshipful of this goddess symbolism, of the twin goddesses. And so if you have any ideas as to what the symbolism alludes to, if there are any references throughout literature, I'd be very curious to know more, to find out more, especially in art. Classical, Renaissance art, I feel, could hold some clues. Maybe not. But, you can live your whole life and not experience something like that. So I'm very grateful that it happened. And and yeah, thanks for listening.